quote at the end. We'll zoom in and see if they can show that we're at the BBC. Doesn't show. I can see people joining now. Oh, I can see a comment there. Hi Vicky, thank you for joining, really appreciate it. As you can see, we're outside the BBC. We've been here for long enough for people to come past. Many people have come past and looked at the boys banner, which I'm going to show you at the moment. No one has asked any question. Facebook, again, are messing with my live, which is something common that they do a lot lately. I've just had the slow connection come up, and it only ever comes up when I do my live feed. Hi Leslie. It's getting harder to do live streams on Facebook now. Hi Norma, thank you for joining. Hi Mags. It's getting really harder to get out on Facebook now, but I still use Facebook. Just even if I can only get my lives out to a few of you, it's better than getting it out to no one. Outside the BBC, you'd think we've got a big banner here of the boys, which I'm going to show you in a minute. You think someone from there would be interested in a news story, but of course they're not. Of course they're not, because all they do is use the media as a tool to lie to you. Let me turn this around. Now, this is how big the banner is. You can't miss it. Plenty of people have been stopping, but no one asking anything. No reporter has come out. We have had the security come out and look, and someone take a picture from across the road, but to be fair, they have left us alone and not bothered us, so I've got to be fair. The police and media's version of that night on the 26th of the 1st 2018, what they gave to the whole country was fake. It wasn't real. It was a fake narrative, and that is what the media is for, to feed to you the story they want to feed. They don't feed you the truth. They manipulate. Now, I've got someone here, Justin, who has been a good supporter of mine and the boys, and has his own story as well of an injustice. How do you feel that me and you and others like us have to come out and tell our story out here when there's no one listening? Why do we have to fight these injustices when it should be something that's natural? We shouldn't have to come out and fight the justice system to get justice, or for the truth to be told of what's going on. What do you think? You've known me for, I don't know, 4 years now, or walked
since 2018.
Yeah, and I've always been grateful of all the support, and I know you suffer yourself with your own injustice. How do you feel about what we have to do and what you've suffered yourself?
If I can quickly lead to how the so-called family courts operate in the civil process of the balance of probability, unlike the criminal process of a different structure, and the way that the criminal justice system works is seriously worlds apart from that of the civil process. And if the civil process can turn around and stipulate that people shouldn't be speaking out publicly about what's going on, especially with their children through social services, then don't you find it highly hypocritical that we, on one hand, through a civil process of the balance of probability, are denied the right to speak outside, and the use of the children involved in a case being used as a leverage of suggestion of why privacy rights then had to be applied. But that's just basically that's like a red herring. to scupper. So we have that on that basis of the civil side, and then we have the criminal side beyond reasonable doubt. Because we've been on a roller coaster ride of emotions today, so I was struggling to remember beyond reasonable doubt. And the simple fact is, why should your case not get the strength from the early hurdle of what the police encourage people to do, and that is provide them, as the police rely about, I imagine, 80%, if not more, on public bringing information to them. Why would the police, who believe on one hand that we need to be encouraged to give them information to help their case, to strengthen their case, to even the starting point of a case, to get momentum to the end hurdle for justice, if we then are finding that police, who can be influenced in their ranks from the very top of the chief constable to the commissioner, deputy assistants, down the ranks, from a higher level, whether that's Home Office, government, influence, ministers, politicians, to undermine an investigation that then makes again for a hypocritical existence. Because you have to ask this question: if we're encouraged on one hand not to publicise what's going on to our family members to us, but through that being a civil process, to then on the other side of it, a criminal process where we're supposedly encouraged to give information and assist in these inquiries and not obstruct a police investigation, while the very people that we are being expected to do that with then undermining the bloody investigations, underhandedness taking form, and justice not prevailing. And as in this example that I gave Tracy earlier, as one example to another, with my own situation with my children and the mum and her, the impact on our whole family and the friends, people around us, and 11 years on. Should it really take about 11 years to see any form of justice take form, only to not have justice? The end hurdle to be left a shell of a fucking man. And I'll quote something. My dad and his friend are friends with Graham McPherson. Otherwise, you all know him as Suggs. Suggs has been a supporter of Tracy's campaign on behalf of her son and his two friends and their extended family members. He made a very prominent point. It's not about justice being seen to be done. It's about justice being done.
Thank you. It's been very emotional with Justin, so so thank you, Justin. It's been a hard day because, as I said, Justin has his own injustice that he's been fighting, and obviously that brings all the emotions up. We've been chatting a lot and talking about that and other injustices, and we shouldn't be out here. We shouldn't have to come out and bare our souls, because it should have already been done. That night, the truth should have been told, and it wasn't. I reckon from 11 o'clock that night is when they started to cover this up. Prior to that, many things were said at the scene, from the frontline police to other parents who were turning up to pick up their children. And, I want to leave you, before I do leave you, with this quote, which I think is very important for people like us, other families like us, that are fighting for justice and just can't get their voices heard and need to be heard. An injustice to anyone should affect everyone, because it means an injustice can happen to you at any time. Now, many of you looking and watching this live tonight has seen the documentary that I created with a few others, not by mainstream media. It took 2 years. I had to do door knocking myself. Continuous watching of a CCTV of my son and those two boys' last moments, and I can't tell you how hard that is, but I had to do it. I had to do it for them and for my son. 2 years it took to create that documentary. Now, that documentary I emailed to over 100 news outlets in this country. How many news outlets do you think came back to me and wanted to know the real story of what happened to these 3 boys that night? I can tell you, not one wanted to know, because they're not here for that. They're just an illusion, a fake narrative, and they use the media machine to seduce the masses for what they want to manipulate their mind to think. Now I'm going to leave you with this quote. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Now, I think that's important for people who just need a little bit of courage to help them along the way, to help them speak out, to help them stand up. Because it is hard, but I tell people, and I said this to Justin a little while ago, use your pain as your armour. Use it as your armour. Because it is painful. But they can't get through that pain because you hurt enough. Your tears are your bullets, and the truth is your power. It really is. You don't have to be strong physically. You don't have to be strong, if you hit someone and you're not strong, doesn't matter. It's up here where you need to be strong, because you're destroyed enough. Don't let anything else then destroy you,
I want to talk about the
because
inner house of
they
collusion.
don't deserve that. And remember, there are times when it is an uphill battle, but he who leaves the battlefield first loses, and I'm not leaving that battlefield.